धारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार्ग श्रील भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार्ग भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार्ग भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार्ग भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार्ग भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार्ग Śrīla. Sorry, I need to focus. Bhakti began Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Mishra Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai. Sai. Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gorkshara Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Śrī Rūpānuparya Guru Varga ki jai. Śrī Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Śrī Jeev Gopala Patadasa Raghunath, Shād Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Śrī Svarūpa Dāmodara Rai Ramanandari, Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Śrī Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Śrī Advaita Gadadhar, Śrī Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Śrī Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradati Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Śrī Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Śrī Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Śrī Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Śrī Bhakti Devi ki jai. Śrī Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Śrī Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Śrī Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Śrī sorry, one second. Jai Shri Srila Bhakti Kumuda Santa Gosai Mahārāja ki jai. Tadiya Shubha, is it Abhirāma or Tirubhav? It's Abhirāma Titi ki jai. Jai Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi ki jai. Śrī Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Alright, let's do Mangala Charan. Okay, where is it? I opened it up. Oh, there it is. Okay. Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Lakshmi Kanta Jai Jai Nityananda Vallabha Ekanta Jai Jai Vaikunta Ishwar Nyasi Raj Jai 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 Bhakata Samaj Jai Jai Patita Pavana Gaura Chandra Dana Deha Hridaye Tomar Pada Dvandva Shesha Khanda Katha Bhai Shuno Ekachite Nilachale Gaura Chandra Aila Jemate Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvang Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptastakama Titaranga Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde namaste charanardavindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Ṭhākura from Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. Ore murda lok shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshakal, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lilar Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahara Shravane Nashe Sarvaya Mangal. Chaitanya Nitar Jate Janiye Mahima, Jate Jane Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Likhiya Chen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar, Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan, Sheho Mahavaishnava Hoy Tatakhan. Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya Vrindavana dasa mukhe bhakta Shri Caitanya Vrindavana dasa pore koti namaskar Aiche granta kori teho tarila sansar Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan Tar garbe janmila Shri dasa Vrindavan तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन जहाँ रसवाने शुद्ध कोयल त्रिभुवन सहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृते धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they're described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Jai. Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna and Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji and Satya Mataji. And I see there are a couple of people watching on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Usually there are more people by now. Anyhow. All right. So, Hare Krishna, Archana Didi. Give me 1 second. I am just going to fill up my water bottle just a little bit because my throat's dry. I'll be right back. All right. I am back. Okay. So we are continuing on with our reading of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. We are now beginning the very last chapter of Caitanya-bhāgavata. And it's not a very long chapter. It's 10,000 words. So normally we would do this chapter in 2 days. But because today is the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Kumuda Santa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and also the disappearance day of Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura, I made our Caitanya-bhāgavata reading a little bit more short. And then we will read about these two personalities. And then that also makes it so that we can end our Caitanya-bhāgavata reading on Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's disappearance day. Yeah, that would be cool. So I have just the last part of Caitanya-bhāgavata. We'll finish with that on his day. All right, so let's begin. Where is it? Here it is. Chapter 10. Okay. This chapter describes the glories of Śrī Svarūpa Dāmodara and Śrī Paramānanda Purī. And that's the topic we're going to read about today. And then Gadadhar Pandit's acceptance of mantra initiation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi for the second time. Mahaprabhu's hearing Śrīmad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar. And Vidyanidhi's criticism of Lord Jagannath's servants because they dressed Jagannath and Balarama in starched cloth on the day of Odhan Shashti. So that will be what we read about tomorrow. And then we will finish, we'll have our last day on, our last day of reading Caitanya-bhāgavata. We'll conclude our reading on Śrīla Vrindavan Thakur's disappearance day, and we'll read about Jagannath and Balaram's slapping the cheeks of Vidyanidhi. That's how it ends. So, all right. I guess we can read the summary next time. Yeah. So, Hare Krishna Champak Mataji and Sarveshwari Mataji Haribol. Jaya Jaya Gora Chandra Shri Vatsa Lanchan Jaya Shachi Garbha Ratna Dharma Sanatan. All glories to Shri Gaurachandra, who bears the mark of Shrivatsa. All glories to the jewel of Shachi's womb, the personification of Sanatan Dharma. Hare Krishna. And Hari Bol Shubhananda Prabhu. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Okay. The phrase Shrivatsa Lanchan indicates that Shri Gaur is none different from Lord Narayan. Since he is the ultimate beneficiary of the eternal religious principles, he is the personification of Sanatan Dharma. Okay, Champak Mataji, I just saw your message. Okay. Jaya Sankirtana Priya Gauranga Gopal Jaya Shishta Jana Priya Jai Dushtakal. All glories to Gauranga Gopal, who enjoys the performance of Sankirtan. All glories to the Supreme Lord, who is dear to the devotees and who is death to the miscreants. Hare Krishna, Ajay Krishna Prabhu, Haribol. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since Shri Gaurasundar is Krishna Chandra, he is called Gauranga Gopal. The special characteristic of Shri Gaurasundar's pastimes is the glorification of topics regarding Krishna. Since activities like worship and meditation are unable to fully manifest the Supreme Lord, the process of Sankirtan is supreme. This Sankirtan is the best of all activities for reviving one's relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is why in his Gaur pastimes, Shri Krishna Chandra is addressed as Sankirtan Priya, or he who is fond of Sankirtan. He is the supreme worshipable Lord of all devotees. Those who have no love for him are certainly non-devotees. He is like death personified for both the sinful sense enjoyers and the wicked-minded renunciates. Bhakta Goshti Sahita Gauranga Jai Jai Shunile Chaitanya Katha Bhakti Labhya Hoy. All glories to Shri Gauranga along with his devotees. By hearing these topics about Lord Chaitanya, one attains devotional service. Henomate Vaikunta Nayak Nyasi Rupe Biharen Bhakta Goshti Loya Kotuke. In this way, the hero of Vaikunta, in the form of a sannyasi, enjoyed blissful pastimes with his devotees. Ekadina Boshia Achen Prabhu Shuke Heno Kale Shri Advaita Ailo Sammukhe. One day, as the Lord was sitting comfortably, Śrī Advaita came before him. Comfortably, I guess. It says Sukhe, so I was happily sitting down. Boshilen Advaita Prabhure Namaskari, Hasi Advaitere Jigyasen Gaur Hari. Advaita offered his obeisances to the Lord and sat down. Then Gaur Hari smiled and inquired from him, Santoshe bolen Prabhu, Kohoto Acharya, Kotha hoite aila Korea kon karja. In satisfaction, the Lord asked, O Acharya, tell me, where have you come from? What were you doing? Advaita bolen dekhilaya Jagannath, tabe ailaya e tomar shakshat. Advaita Acharya replied, I went to see Lord Jagannath, and then I came here to see you. Prabhu bole Jagannath, Shri Mukha dekhiya, tabe ar ki korila koho dekhi taha. The Lord then asked, after seeing Lord Jagannath, what else did you do? Advaita bolen age dekhi Jagannath, tabe korilaya pradakina panchasat. Oh, I remember reading this before. This is very interesting. Okay, let's see if I can remember. I read Caitanya-bhāgavata a very long time ago. But what I have in my memory is that the Gaudiya Bhashya here says that it gives like, you're not supposed to only do parikrama of Thakurji one time. And if you do, you go to hell, or like something really heavy like that. So let's see what it says. Let's see if my memory is correct. So Advaita replied, after seeing Lord Jagannath, I circumambulated him 5 or 7 times. Gaudiya Bhashya. Okay, so this is going to be everything you need to know about circumambulation, like a lot of references from all different scriptures. Śrīla Saraswati Thakur shares with us. Okay. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, chapter 8, verses 181 to 182 and 184 to 189, it is stated, Atta Pradakshina. Tatta Pradakshinam Kuryad Bhaktya Bhagavato Hare Namani Kirtayan Shakto Tam Sashtanga Bandhanam. The procedure for circumambulation is described as follows. Chanting the Lord's holy names, one should perform circumambulation with devotion. If one is able, he should circumambulate by again and again bowing down with 8 parts of the body. Pradakshina Sankyav Naras. Sorry, I messed up. Pradakshina Sankyav Narasinghe Ekam Chandyam Ravo Sapta Tisro Dadyad Vinayake Chatasra Keshava Dadyat Shive Tvardva Pradakshinam. I messed up. This is supposed to be separate, I think, like that. Yeah. Regarding the number of circumambulations, in the Nrsimha Purana, it is stated. Sorry about that. One should circumambulate Chandi 1 time, the sun god 7 times, Ganesh 3 times, Lord Krishna 4 times, and Shiva half a time. That's interesting. Shiva only half a time, huh? We're not supposed to go all the way around. Huh. Okay. Atha Pradakshina Mahatmam Varahe. Pradakshinam Yakurvanti Bhakti Yuktena Chetasan. Chetasana, whatever. Te Yama. I think it's supposed to be Ate. I'm guessing. Ate Yama Puram Yanti Punya Kritam Gatim. The glories of circumambulation are described in the Varaha Purana as follows. Those whose hearts are filled with devotion as they circumambulate the temple of Lord Vishnu do not enter Yamaraja's city. They go to the place where the saintly devotees go. Tatraiva Chaturmasya Mahatme. Chaturvaram Bhistu Jagat Sarvam Characharam Krantam Bhavati Vipragya Tattirtha Gamanadikam. In the Skanda Puran, Chaturmasya Mahatma, it is stated, O best of the Brahmanas, a person who circumambulates the temple of Lord Vishnu 4 times attains the result of circumambulating the entire universe filled with moving and unmoving beings. He attains a result better than going on all pilgrimages. Tatraivanyatra. Pradakshinam tuya kuryat harim bhaktya samanvita Hangsa yukta vimanena Vishnu lokam sagachati. Elsewhere in the Skanda Purana, it is stated, a person who with devotion circumambulates the temple of Lord Hari is carried on a swan airplane to Vaikuntha. Narasinghe means in the Shringa Purana. Pradakshinena chaikena deva devasya mandire kritena yat phalam nurinam tach trinushva nirpatmaja prithvi pradakshina phalam yat tat prapya harim prajet. In the Nrsimha Purana, it is said, O Prince, please hear the glorious result attained by a person who once circumambulates the temple of Lord Vishnu, the Lord of Lords. Such a person attains the result of circumambulating the earth. He goes to Lord Hari. Anyatra cha. Evam kritva tu Krishnasya ya kuryad dvi pradakshinam sapta dvipavati punyam labhate tu pade pade. Patan nama sahasram tu namanyevata kevalam. It is further said, a person who circumambulates the temple of Sri Hari as he chants the holy names of Lord Krishna or the 1,000 names of Krishna attains the result of circumambulating the earth, which consists of 7 islands, or giving the earth in charity. Giving the earth in charity, that's quite a big charity. Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. Vishnu Pradakshini Kurvan, Yas Tatra Vartate Puna, Tad Eva Vartam. Sorry, one second. Tad Eva Vartanam Tasya Punar Na Vartate Bhave. In the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya, it is said, a person who after circumambulating the temple of Sri Hari 1 time, again circumambulates the temple, is not subjected to return to this world of repeated birth and death. Okay, so if somebody circumambulates the temple 1 time and then again circumambulates the temple, so if he does it 2 times, that person is not subjected to return to this world of repeated birth and death. Brihan Naradiye Yama Bhagirata Sambade. Pradakshina Trayam Kuryad Yo Vishnur Manu Jeshvara Sarva Papa Vinir Mukto Devendratvam Samashnute. In the Brihan Naradiya Purana, Yamaraj tells King Bhagirat, O king, a person who circumambulates the temple of Sri Hari 3 times becomes free of all sins, and he enjoys the post of King Indra. Tatraiva Pradakshina Mahatme Sudharmo Paktyayana Arambe. Bhaktya Kurvanti Ye Vishnu Pradakshina Chatushtayam Te Piyanti Param Sthanam Sarva Lokattamuttamam Iti. Tatkyatam Yat Sudharmasya Purvasmin Gridhrajanmani Krishna Pradakshina Bhyasan Mahasiddhir Abud Iti. And the Narad Purana Pradakshina Mahatma, in the beginning of Sudharma's story, it is said, those who devotedly circumambulate the temple of Lord Vishnu 4 times goes to the supreme abode, which is situated beyond all other planets. In his previous life as a vulture, Sudharma circumambulated the temple of Lord Krishna and thereby attains the highest perfection. Hare Krishna Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu. Okay. Atha Pradakshinyam Nishidham Vishnu Smrito. Here, I think this is it. Yeah, look. Eka Chaiva Pradakshina. And Eka Hasta Pradakshu. Look at this. This is quite an interesting verse here. Eka Hasta eka hasta pranamangscha eka chaiva pradakshina akale darshanam vishnur hanti punyam parakritam. All right. Prohibitions in the performance of circumambulation are described in the Vishnu Smriti as follows. Offering obeisances to Sri Vishnu with only one hand, circumambulating the temple of Sri Krishna only once, and seeing the deity of Sri Krishna at an improper time destroy one's previous pious merits. All right, so if you don't want all of your punya to be destroyed, then don't offer pranam with one hand, and don't just do parikrama one time of Thakurji, and don't have darshan of Vishnu like at an improper time when he's resting, or maybe when like that, or when you're offering both. Yes, Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu.
Yes, yesterday I think there was a disappearance day of Shri Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj.
Yes.
So our Guru Maharaj mentions once he was a child with his Nanaji, his grandfather, and he was visiting some temple there. Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj was, I think, having some prasad or something like that, and he just bowed down for Dandavat Pranam, and he said he chastised, or rather he said, "Oh, Baba, don't do." So at that time he mentions Shayane, Bhojane, Arati Kale. Matlab, these three times one should not pay obeisances to Lord or to even Lord's devotees. Shayane, Bhojane, I think these three times or these three circumstances may be mentioned in this particular verse. At those times one should not parikrama or something, dandavat, even pranam to lordships.
Very interesting. I've noticed that was a rule in lots of mats. I haven't seen that as a rule like in all mats, but I've noticed that in lots of mats, they like, I would go into a mat and they'd be offering bhog. And so I'd offer a pranam then, and I'd get chastised. I've never seen that happen in any of our mats, and so I just thought, I wonder if this is like some smarta rule or something like that. But that's Srila Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj himself said that.
Yes. Our Guru Maharaj was like a child. Is in childhood he mentions this pastimes many times.
Okay, and it's something else I've seen in lots of mats. When they're offering bhog, they say not to circumambulate Thakurji also.
Yes.
And I always wondered about that, because like in our mats, lots of times like after Mangalarati, they offer Balya Bhog. And so while they're offering Balya Bhog, we do parikrama of Tulsi and Thakurji while they're offering Balya Bhog. But maybe Balya Bhog is just kind of like a snack, you know what I mean? It's just like a sweet or whatever. It's not like the proper meal or whatever. I don't know. Because that I always wondered about that. But like, why do we do pranam when do we circumambulate when they're offered Balya Bhog? I mean, I think sometimes some temples offer Balya Bhog before Mangalarti. So, but yeah, and in most of our temples we offer Balya Bhog right after Mangalarti. Anyhow, that's very good to know. There's some praman for that now. I wonder why that is, though. Is it because Thakurji is aware of when people are offering pranams, and so it like disturbs them, like because they have to give their attention to you, and like just leave them be while they're eating or resting? I don't know.
Even during Aarti also, this is also fascinating that during Aarti one should also not pay obeisances to Lordship.
During Aarti time?
Yes. Shayane, Bhojane, Aarti Kale. This is
it said Aarti Kale. That is interesting. So if you come when Aarti starts, then you just stand there?
Yes.
I've never seen anybody follow that one, but Srila Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj himself said that. That's interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
What about parikrama, Prabhu?
Yeah, Gopal Ganesha Prabhu, what do you mean about parikrama?
while Lord is sleeping or resting, we do parikrama to the altar. So what do you think?
Yeah, so that's what I was just mentioning. And two things I get chastised for in temples is like offering pranam while offering is going on, or also doing parikrama. They'd say, no parikrama, Thakurji is being offered bhog. So, and I didn't realize that was like, I thought that was, yeah, now I'm gonna follow that rule. Before I was like, I thought it was just like maybe because smartas have lots of like, there are lots of smarta rules that we don't follow. And so I thought maybe it was just like a smarta rule, but if Srila Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj is saying it, then I'm not gonna argue with him. So, very interesting. All right, so here's a verse. Ekahasta pranam cha ekachaiva pradakshina akale darshanam vishnur hanti punyam purakritam. Offering obeisances to Vishnu with only one hand, circumambulating the temple of Krishna only once, and seeing the deity of Sri Krishna at an improper time destroy one's previous pious merits. Okay, Kim Cha. Krishnasya, but you can offer pranam, you can do circumambulation twice, right? We read the verse that anybody who circumambulates twice, what is it? All their sinful reactions are destroyed or something like that. So, all right. Krishnasya purato naiva suryasyaiva pradakshinam kuryad brahmarika rupam vaimukya padanim prabhu. It is also said, one should not circumambulate the sun god in a circle like a bumblebee before the temple of Sri Hari, for then one must turn one's back to the deity. I'm guessing that goes with Tulsi Devi also, right? Like you're not supposed to do parikrama of anything else before Thakurji, right? For then one must turn one's back to the deity. Interesting. So like you can do parikrama of Tulsi in front of Thakurji, but you should close the curtains so that you don't face your back to Thakurji, I guess. If you do separate parikrama of Tulsi in front of Thakurji. That's what I think. Anyhow. Tata choktam. Pradakshinam nakartavyam vimukhatvach chakaranat. It is also said, circumambulating the temple of Sri Hari in these ways is prohibited, for such activities will make one averse to the Lord. Wow. So better make sure you're not circumambulating like that. Otherwise, you'll become averse to the Lord and lose all your pious credit. So interesting, huh? So Advaita Acharya, he performed 5 or 7 times, right? Is that what he said? Advaita replied, so Mahaprabhu asked him, after seeing Lord Jagannath, what else did he do? Then Advaita Acharya said, after seeing Lord Jagannath, I circumambulated him 5 or 7 times. Okay. Pradakshina shuni Prabhu, hasite lagila, hasi bolen Prabhu tumi, harila harila. When the Lord heard the word circumambulated, Pradakshina, he laughed and said, you are defeated. Harila, harila. Acharya bolen ki samagri hari bare, lokhon dekhao tobe jini ho amare. Advaita Acharya inquired, what have I lost? Give me evidence, then I can believe you. Prabhu bole, samagri shunoho hari bar, tumi je korila pradakshina vyavahar. যতক্ষণ তুমি পৃষ্ঠা দিগেরে চলিলা ততক্ষণ তোমার যে দর্শন নাহিলা. The Lord then said, listen, this is what you have lost. When you are behind the Lord while circumambulating him, you are deprived of the Lord's darshan. আমি যতক্ষণ ধরি দেখি জগন্নাথ আমার লোচন আর না যায় কোথাও. For as long as I take darshan of Lord Jagannath, my eyes do not move anywhere else. For as long as I take darshan of Lord Jagannath, my eyes do not move anywhere else. Gaudiya Bhashya, when Sri Gaurasundar would see Lord Jagannath, he would simply gaze at the Lord's face. In his book Krishna Karnamritam, Śrī Bilvamangala has described the sweetness of the Lord's beautiful face. The sweetness of the Lord's face is superior to the sweetness of his other limbs, and the sweetness of his enchanting smile is superior to the sweetness of his face. Gaura Sundar has expressed that the Lord's lotus face, composed of 5 knowledge-acquiring senses, is more attractive than his other limbs. And the Lord's smile, which is indicative of his pleasure, stimulates and acknowledges resolute service. Śrī Advaita Prabhu circumambulated Lord Śrī Jagannath 5 to 7 times. His object of vision was the body of the Lord, but Śrī Gaurasundar's object of vision was Lord Jagannath's lotus face. Therefore, Śrī Gaurasundar defeated Advaita Prabhu in the contest. When one is behind Jagannath while circumambulating him, one can only see the back half of his body. But when one sees him from the front, one can have eye-to-eye contact. Shubhananda Prabhu, in the Jagannath Mandir, can you, are you able to do parikrama of Lord Jagannath, like inside the inner temple?
I don't know, Prabhu. Very good.
Okay. Because I've never been inside the temple, so I have no idea. Like if you do circumambulation, do you do it outside?
Actually, from outside of the temple only we can perform circumambulation, not from inside. Maybe there is no nowadays also they are darshan is quite from distance, so
Okay.
we may not be possible to even circumambulate the altar inside of the.
Oh, okay. I guess during Mahaprabhu's time then, you're able to do parikrama inside and see Jagannath from all sides then, it sounds like, because it changed over time. So, ki dakhine kiba bame, kiba pradakine, ar nahi dekhi Jagannath mukha bine. I do not look to the left or right, nor do I circumambulate. I do not see anything other than the beautiful face of Lord Jagannath, Mahaprabhu said. Hare Krishna, Rasapriya Didi, and Manjari Didi, Haribo. Oh, Manjari, you missed this. We just read a Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada, and he says that he gives a verse from, I forgot which Purana, but it says that if you offer pranam with just one hand, if you circumambulate Sri Krishna just once, and what was the other thing? Oh, and if you see Thakurji during like an inappropriate time, maybe like when Thakurji is resting or something like that, then all your punya will be destroyed. So whenever we do parikrama of Thakurji, we should do it more than once. You can do it twice. There was a verse that says if you do twice, there's some great benefit. I think all your sins are destroyed or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Kara joda kori bole Acharya Goshai, e rupe shakal hari tomar shetai. Advaita Acharya folded his hands and said to the Lord, "May I always be defeated by you in this way." E khatar adhikari ar tribhuvane, satya ko hilaya e nahi toma bine. But I tell you frankly, there is no one in the 3 worlds qualified to act like you. Tumi she ihar prabhu ek adhikari, ek khatai tomare she matra ami hari. You alone are qualified in this way. Only before you am I defeated in this topic. Shuniya hasen sarva Vaishnava mandal, hari boli uthilo mangala kola holo. On hearing this conversation, all the Vaishnavas smiled and raised an auspicious tumult by chanting Hari Hari. E mata prabhur vichitra sarva katha, advaitere ati prita koren sarvatha. In this way, the Lord's topics are all amazing. The Lord always showed great affection for Advaita Acharya. Ekadin Gadadhar Deva Prabhu Sthane, Kohilen Purva Mantra Dikhar Karane. One day, Śrī Gadadhar Pandit asked the Lord about the initiation mantra he had been given. Ishta mantra ami je kohilo karo prati, she hoite amar naspure bhalo mati. I have given someone my initiation mantra, and now I am not getting realization from chanting it. She mantra tumi more koho punarbar, tobe man prasannata hoibe amar. You please give that mantra to me again, and then my mind will be joyful. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mantra refers to the sound vibration by which one can give up thoughts of material enjoyment. If an instructor instructs mantras to a faithless person, his heart becomes polluted. If one loses transcendental knowledge because of bad association, then one must gather it again. Knowing this fact, Śrī Gadadhar Pandit Gosvāmī requested Śrī Gaurasundar to give him reinitiation. But Mahaprabhu told him to receive mantra again from his original guru. Śrī Gadadhar Pandit's guru was Śrīla Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Wow. I once heard that if you don't chant your Gayatri mantras, or like the mantras given by Śrī Guru for 3 days in a row, then your mantra loses potency and you have to get diksha again. Like you have to hear the mantras again.
I recently heard that, but it doesn't sound right to me. I mean, I think that's such a personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
like your shraddha with your Gurudev.
Yeah.
I can understand if it's been years.
Yeah. I mean, I did, I did, because when I was little, I got, when I was little, I was like a teenager and I had diksha and I did go for, like, I fell into bad association and I went for 3 days without doing my mantras, just one time in my life. But I went for 3 days without doing my mantras, and then I told Madhav Maharaj, and then Madhav Maharaj chastised me very heavily. And then he told me to hear the mantras from Gurudev again. And so then
but Gurudev was present. I mean, like now, or say like, disciples of Śrīla Prabhupada or something like that. Like if
yes.
I don't know, I think if that Acharya is still manifest, then
Yes.
Otherwise, according to the Shraddha, I haven't read this. I'm wondering what you've heard or other devotees hear what they have heard. But if there's that Shraddha and love and affection and faith in one's pure Guru, couldn't that be done through the heart by that pure Guru? I mean, the Sadguru can do anything.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that Radhika actually mentioned that point, Radhika Ahuja. Because we were discussing this topic also, and one time, like a long time ago, and she was mentioning a similar point what you were saying. Like she said that she thinks Śrī Guru's mercy is more powerful than our shortcomings.
Yes, there's
And so, yeah, I thought that was a good point. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think there's ever any time in our spiritual life that we should, because of something bad that we did, that you're just, oh, well, guess next lifetime you're screwed up for this lifetime. You might as well just enjoy for the rest of your lifetime because there's no hope for you in this lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, and so, yeah. But that is interesting with Gadadhar Pandit. He gave the mantra to somebody. I mean, this is a different topic, but he gave the mantra to somebody. And then he said, after that, the mantra lost all its power. I just recently saw a devotee write the Brahma Gayatri on Facebook. He just wrote it out, just the Brahma Gayatri, and put it out on Facebook. And now we're seeing what happened to Gadadhar Pandit when he's showing when he gave the mantra to somebody.
Well, share not just the mantra, confidential, any instructions in bhajan we may have received from Guru or from Shiksha Guru. And Shamarani Didi, I'll tell this in brief because she tells it all the time, which is that when she was painting Seva Kunj and the Manjaris, She heard so many things from Srila Gurudev, and she was excited and started sharing with a lot of her god sisters especially, and then she felt the same thing that you're describing here, that Gadadhar Pandit said, so she went to Gurudev and asked, and then
didn't Gurudev before tell her that after you do this service, something very special will, like, there'll be some very special result or something like that? And then she finished it and she's like, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then she asked Gurudev, right?
Yeah, I believe that darshan's in the art book, but in any case, that was what he told her as well, the same kind of thing, just that, and that's when he said the example of camphor, that these things are very confidential, and you don't, what's the word? I can't think of the exact word, but don't reveal them so easily. Something like
camphor,
that.
If they're very special and they should be kept secretly in a chest. And if you, like in a box of camphor, if you just open it up and leave it open, then it will all just disappear, it will all evaporate, right? Or
yes.
So yeah, very important instruction.
Very good.
Yes.
I think there is some Bengali saying, rather maybe from Chaitanya Charitamrita or somewhere else. I don't recall the first line, but its last line is "Na kahibe yatha tatha." Your realizations and your special experiences should not be shared in the public or in anyone. It should be shared to your Gurudev or Shiksha Guru, senior something like this.
Yeah, I remember that verse also. I think is it Bhajaner Kata? No, Bhajaner something, and then yeah, very important. Maybe we could look up that verse afterwards. Great. Okay, so let's continue on. So I've given someone my initiation mantra, Gadadhar Pandit said, and now I'm not getting realization from chanting it. She mantra tumi more koho punarbar, tobe man prasannata hoibe amar. So you please give that mantra to me again, and then my mind will be joyful. Did we already read this? Anyways, whatever. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mantra refers to, we did read it. I remember. Okay. Prabhu bole tomar je upadeshta ache savadhan tata aparadi ho pache. The Lord said, you already have a spiritual master, so be careful. Don't become an offender. Mantrer ki dai prano amar tomar upadeshta thakite na hoy vyavahar. What to speak of a mantra? I can even give my life to you, but it would not be proper to give you mantra while your spiritual master is alive. Gadadhar boleti ho na achen etha, tana parivarte tumi koraho sarvata. Gadadhar replied, he is not here now, so you can do it in his place. Prabhu bole tomar je guru vidyanidhi, anayase tomar miliya dibe vidhi. The Lord then said, by the arrangement of providence, your spiritual master Pundarik Vidyanidhi will soon come, and you will easily meet him. Sarvagya Chudamani Janen Shakal Vidyanidhi Shigragati Asibe Utkal. The crest jewel of omniscient persons knew everything. He said, Pundarik Vidyanidhi will soon arrive in Puri. Etai dekhiva din dasher bhitore, aisen keval amare dekhivare. You will meet him here in 10 days, for he is coming just to see me. Niravadi vidyanidhi hoy mor mane, bhujilaya tumi akarshiya anotane. I always remember Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Now I understand that you have attracted him to come here. E mata Prabhu Priya Gadadhar Shange, Tan Mukhe Bhagavat Shuni Thake Range. In this way, the Lord happily spent his days hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar. Oh, Hare Krishna, Mahi Bharat Prabhu and Janardhan Prabhu and Vidyalala Sadidi. Hare Krishna. Gadadhar Poden Sammukhe Bhagavat Shuniya Prakashe Prabhu Prem Bhava Jata. Whenever Gadadhar would recite Bhagavatam, the Lord would manifest various symptoms of ecstatic love. Prahlada Charitra Ar Dhruver Charitra Shatavriti Koriya Shunin Sabahita. The Lord attentively heard the glories of Prahlad and Dhruva hundreds of times. Gaudiya Bhashya. The characteristics of Prahlad are described in the 7th canto of the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, and the characteristics of Dhruva are described in the 4th canto of the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Śrī Gadadhar Pandit Gosvāmī was the speaker of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, and Śrī Gaurasundar was the listener. He attentively heard topics of Prahlad and Dhruva's cultivation of devotional service from the mouth of Gadadhar hundreds of times. Ar karje Prabhur nahiko avasar, nam guna bolen shunen nirantar. He had no time for any other activity, for he was constantly engaged in hearing and chanting the names and qualities of Krishna and his devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. Rather than speaking about any other topic, Śrī Gaurasundar always glorified topics regarding the Supreme Lord's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, as if he had 100 mouths. He had no time to pay any attention to any subject other than Krishna's names, forms, qualities, associates, characteristics, and pastimes. I wonder what the difference between qualities and characteristics are. Okay. Bhagavata Pate Gadadhar Mahārāja Damodar Svarūper Kirtana Vishaya. Just as Gadadhar was expert in reciting Bhagavatam, Svarūpa Dāmodara was expert in performing kirtan. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Gadadhar Pandit was most expert in explaining Śrīmad Bhagavatam, the 4 objectives of life: religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. So these 4 objectives of life ultimately become the goal of those who study and teach Śrīmad Bhagavatam to accumulate food, cloth, family maintenance, and other insignificant fruits. But Śrī Gadadhar Pandit's recitation of Śrīmad Bhagavatam and Śrīman Mahaprabhu's hearing and chanting of Śrīmad Bhagavatam were not aimed at attaining these 4 objectives of life. Śrī Svarūpa Dāmodara was always engaged in glorifying the topics of Hari. He had no engagement other than glorifying the qualities of Hari. Śrī Damodar Swarup was the topmost authority on the conclusions regarding devotional service. He would always engage in pure Krishna kirtan without becoming influenced by others' opinions, persistent requests, or mixed doctrines. The Mayavadi's desire for liberation and the attached householder's desire for sense gratification did not induce Śrī Damodar Swarup to indulge in associating with outsiders. He exclusively gave pleasure to Śrī Gaurasundar's heart. Ekeshwar Damodar Swarup Guna Gai, Vivala Hoya Nache Śrī Gauranga Rai. Whenever Svarūpa Dāmodara chanted the qualities of Krishna, who is one without a second, Lord Gauranga would become overwhelmed and dance in ecstasy. Ashrukampa Hasya Murcha Pulaka Hunkar, Jata Kichu Ache Prem Bhaktir Vikar, Murtimanta Sabe Thake Ishwarer Sthane, Nachene Chaitanya Chandra Iha Sabasane. Transformations of ecstatic love, like shedding tears, shivering, laughing, losing consciousness, hairs standing on end, and loudly crying, manifested in their personified forms, and danced along with. Whoa, so these transformations manifested in their personified forms and danced along with Chaitanya. The transformations of all these sattvic vikars danced along with Chaitanya. That's very interesting. Yeah, okay. All these prem bhakti vikars danced. Damodar Swaruper Ucha Sankirtan Shunile na thake bahya pore she khan. When the Lord heard the loud chanting of Svarūpa Damodar, he would lose consciousness and fall to the ground. Gaudiya Bhashya. On hearing the loud kirtan of Śrī Damodar Swarup, Śrī Gaurasundar forgot the conception of the external world and manifests the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Sannyasi Parshada Jata Ishwarer Hoy Damodar Svarūpa Samana Keho Noy. Among all the sannyasi associates of the Lord, no one was equal to Svarūpa Dāmodara. Gaudiya Bhashya. Many people think that since according to social etiquette, renunciants belonging to the fourth ashram are superior to brahmacharis fixed in ecstatic love for Krishna, they are more dear to Śrī Gaurasundar. Yet, none of the sannyasis headed by Paramananda Puri were as dear to the Lord as Damodar Swarup. Jatapriti Ishwarer Puri Goshaire Damodar Swarupere Tata Priti Kore. The Lord had similar affection for Svarūpa Damodar as he had for Paramananda Puri. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Svarūpa Damodar was renowned as Lord Gaurasundar's first manifestation. Śrī Gaurasundar did not display any less respect for Damodar Swarup than he displayed for Śrī Paramānanda Purī. Damodar Swarupa Sangita Rasamoy Jar Dvani Shravane Prabhur Nritya Hoy. Damodar Swarup was expert in the art of melodious singing. The Lord would dance whenever he heard him sing. Alakita rupa keho chinite na pare, kapatir rupe jeno bulen nagare. Svarūpa Damodar remained incognito as he wandered around the city, so that no one could recognize him. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahaprabhu would begin to dance whenever Svarūpa Damodar sang melodiously. If a person disguises himself whenever he wanders about, people will not understand his actual identity. Mahaprabhu similarly covered his position as a Supreme Lord and concealed his actual identity whenever he wandered throughout the city, disguised as a devotee. Kirtana korite jeno tamburu narada eka prabhu nachayen ki ar sampad. Svarūpa Damodar would induce the Lord to dance by performing kirtan as nicely as Narad Muni sings, accompanied by a stringed instrument, or also a celestial singer, known as tamburu. What could be more glorious? Gaudiya Bhashya. See the purport to Caitanya-bhāgavata, Adi-khaṇḍa, chapter 1, text 52. Sanyasir madhye ishwarer priya patra, ar nahi ekapuri goshai she matra. Among the Lord's sannyasi associates, there is no one as dear to the Lord as Paramananda Puri. Damodar Swarup Paramananda Puri Sannyasi Parshade E Dui Adhikari. Paramananda Puri and Svarūpa Damodar were the two most qualified devotees among the Lord's sannyasi associates. Gaudiya Bhashya. Damodar Swarup was one of the Lord's sannyasi associates. Niravadi nikate thaken dui jan prabhur sannyasi kore dander grahan. These two personalities always remained with the Lord. They accepted sannyas to assist the Lord in his sannyas pastimes. Puri dhyana par damodarer kirtan nyasi rupe nyasi dehe bahu dui jan. Paramananda Puri was always engaged in meditation, and Śrī Svarūpa was always engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. In this way, these two sannyasis were like the arms of Lord Chaitanya. Paramananda Puri and Svarūpa Damodar were like the arms. Nyasi Rupe, Nyasi Dehe, Bahu Duijan. There is Bahu. Gaudiya Bhashya. Damodar Swarup was fond of performing kirtan, and Paramananda Puri was renounced and engaged in worshipping the Lord through meditation. In the sannyas body of Lord Gaurasundar, these two were like his arms. Aharnisha Gaura Chandra Sankirtana Range Viharen Damodar Svarūper Sange. Day and night, Gaurachandra enjoyed performing kirtan with Svarūpa Dāmodara. Ki shayane, ki bhojane, ki ba parjatane, Damodare Prabhu na charen kono khane. While sleeping, eating, or moving about, Svarūpa Dāmodara would never leave the Lord for even a moment. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Svarūpa Dāmodara always assisted the Lord, whether the Lord was sleeping, eating, or traveling. There was not a moment when Svarūpa Dāmodara was separated from the Lord. Purvashrame Purushottam Acharya Namatan Priya Sakha Pundarika Vidyanidhi Nam. In his previous ashram, Svarūpa Dāmodara was known as Purushottam Acharya, and he had a dear friend named Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Gaudiya Bhashya. He who was known in the Lord's Navadvip pastimes as Purushottam Bhattacharya became famous as Damodar Swarup during Mahaprabhu's Nilachal pastimes. The elderly Pundarik Vidyanidhi was his dearmost friend. And in Krishna Lila, Svarūpa Dāmodara is Lalita Saki, right? And Pundarik Vidyanidhi is Vrishabhanu Mahārāja. Pate chaliteo Prabhu Damodara Gane, Nachen Vivala Hoya Pata Nahi Jane. Even while walking on the road, whenever the Lord heard Svarūpa Dāmodara sing, he'd become overwhelmed with ecstasy and forget the way. Who the heck is calling me? Let me just cut this call. Probably somebody calling about the Gaudiya Kirtana. I get that all the time. Okay. So even while walking on the road, whenever the Lord heard Svarūpa Dāmodara sing, he would become overwhelmed with ecstasy and forget the way. Ekeshwar Damodar Svarūpa Sanghati Prabhu she anande pore na janen koti. The Lord would relish such ecstasy in the company of Damodar Svarūpa that he would not understand where he was. Kiva jal, kiva stal, kiva bana dal, kichu na janen Prabhu garjen vishal. The Lord would not know whether he was in the water, on the ground, in the forest, or in the bushes, and he would loudly cry out. Vishal. Vishal is like expansive, like very big, and Garjan is like roaring. We're just reading two more verses and then we're finished. Ekeshwar Damodar Kirtana Koren Prabhu o bane dale porite dhoren. Svarūpa Dāmodara would perform kirtan alone with the Lord. Whenever the Lord would fall in the forest or in the bushes, Svarūpa Dāmodara would catch hold of him. Damodar Svarūper Bhagyer Jesima Damodar Svarūpe Shetahar Upama. The limit of Svarūpa Dāmodara's good fortune is found only in Svarūpa Dāmodara himself. Gaudiya Bhashya. Because Śrī Damodar Svarūpa was the constant companion of Śrī Gaurasundar, his good fortune surpassed that of other devotees of Gaur. Whenever Mahaprabhu would fall in the forest or in the branches of trees out of ecstasy, Śrī Damodar Svarūpa would display his matchless service propensity by completely protecting Mahaprabhu's transcendental body from all kinds of injury. Before it was Nityananda Prabhu who had that service, right? But then now Nityananda Prabhu was out in Bengal preaching all throughout the villages. So this became Damodar Svarūpa Damodar's service, it seems like. There's probably deeper reasons for that also, because Mahaprabhu was in the mood of Srimati Radharani, right? And especially in these Nilachal pastimes. And so that Svarūpa Damodar is a lead. So there's deeper reasons, of course. Since Mahaprabhu always remained intoxicated with ecstatic love, he seldom displayed external consciousness. At such times, Damodar would serve him in all respects. All right, so tomorrow we will read, continuing on from this verse. One day Mahaprabhu became completely absorbed in ecstatic love and fell into a well. So we'll leave with that cliffhanger there. We'll hear this pastime tomorrow. But But now, because it is the appearance day of Śrīla Bhakti Kumuda Santa Gosvāmī Mahārāja and the disappearance day of Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura, we'll read a little something about them both. So this is from the book written by Srimati Deva Mai Didi, the mother of Rup Manjari and Rukmini Didi, who join our program. They're not here with us right now, but they often are. So this is written by their mother. She wrote a biography about Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj in 1998. So yeah, she wrote it while he was still present on this in our physical vision. So actually, maybe before we read this, let's read an account directly from Śrīla Bhakti Kumuda Santa Goswami Maharaj himself in his glorification of my Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. So let me just open this up. Okay, so if you go to my website, vineofdevotion.com, type in Kumuda. There. Sri Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu's practice at night. So this is his remembrance of Srila Narahari Seva Vigraha in his glorification of my Param Gurudev. He also mentioned about Srila Narahari Seva Vigraha. And here's a picture of Śrīla Bhakti Kumuda Santa Goswami Maharaj. There's Narahari Seva Vigraha. All right, so Srila Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu's practice at night. And this is translated by Raise of the Harmonist team for the book Kriti Ratna. So let me make this bigger so you can see the text. It's not letting me do anything. Huh, that's so strange. Anyhow, hopefully you can see it. Actually, if I open this in Reader, then you'll be able to see it nicely. That's so strange. It's not letting me. Okay, whatever. So Śrīla Bhakti Kumuda Santa Goswami Maharaj, he says, I was fortunate to have received the full shelter of Sri Gurudev's, Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's lotus feet at the age of 11. At that time, I was living in the rented Kolkata Mat at number 1 Ultadanga Junction Road and studying at primary school. So he's only 11 years old and he's already living in the Mat. Later, I stayed in the Mat in Mayapur and studied Harinamamritya Vyakaran. At the time, the present Acharya of Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj, was my classmate. Cool. We lived together, studying, serving, and so on. Since then, I had the good fortune to be extremely close to Param Pujapad Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. In those days, all the residents of the Mat affectionately addressed him as Vinod Da. I also called him Vinod Da. Da is like older brother, means means older brother. So he had not yet taken sannyas. As the property manager in Sri Dham Mayapur, he took full charge of overseeing the estate. He is rather debonair. How do you say debonair? Debonair, right? Debonair. That's like suave, sophisticated, cultured, stylish and charming. Confident, stylish, and charming. So he was rather debonair, and he would ride a horse to tend to estate affairs. Isn't that so cool? He'd farm graded to ride a horse. Vinoda naturally commanded so much authority that we were somewhat intimidated by the very sight of him. Although he was a brahmachari, all the sannyasis and senior godbrothers treated him with particular respect. And we hear a story of when Srila Bhakti Rakshak Goswami Maharaj first came to Chaitanya Mat. He saw this white cloth brahmachari sitting under a tree, and he had his feet up. He's sitting under this jackfruit tree, and he had his feet up, and he was meditating on some matter. And sannyasis and brahmacharis were coming to him and offering pranam and, asking him a question and then going off. And so he thought, who is this white cloth brahmachari that even sannyasis are offering pranam to? And so, so he was respected like that. At the time, Srila Prabhupada's dear servants, Pujapad Shripad Narahari Prabhu, looked after the Mat in Mayapur. He was, in a way, the mother of the Mat. Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu, he was the mother of the Mat. We all addressed him as Prabhu. He had a very accommodating nature and cared for all the youngsters in the Mat with great affection. We therefore spoke with him openly and without inhibition. And Gurudev explains that there were lots of young boys under the shelter of Chaitanya Mat at that time. And even some of the boys were so young that they would sometimes wet their beds at night. And Narahari Seva Vigraha, just like a loving mother, would clean the sheets and, like he took care of them exactly like a mother. So he really lived up to that title of being the mother of the Mat. So the grave and somber Vinoda and the simple and straightforward Śrī Narahari Prabhu made an astonishing transcendental combination. Together, they enlivened us with their ideal character and their exemplary faith in Guru, service to Guru, and practice of bhajan. So much so that till today, we have not deviated from the realm of bhajan. Theirs was a great friendship. Yeah, Narahari Seva Vigraha and Vinoda, our Param Gurudev Śrīla Bhakti Keshav Goswami Maharaj, were extremely close with each other. So Shripad Naraharida was always loudly chanting the names of Hari throughout the day, wherever he went, busy with various tasks in the service to the Mat. But we did not know what he did at night. One evening, I woke and we heard examples about no matter how busy somebody was, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada never allowed anybody to chant any less than 64 rounds. Even Śrīla Bhakti Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srivas mentions that even though he was doing the daily Nadia Prakash and doing so many different services every day, he had to write a whole magazine every day. And like he was, we hear in this book that we're going to read from soon, A Life of Devotion, how busy he was. And he would do his writing work late at night because he wasn't busy engaged in all these different services when everybody was sleeping. And so he once said to Prabhupada, it's very difficult for me to stay on top of all these services and chant 64 rounds. And what did Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada say to him? Well, then sleep less. So that's how strong he was about everybody chanting 64 rounds. So one evening I woke unexpectedly and I saw that he was wrapped in chanting japa of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, in a gentle yet stricken tone. I then saw, to my surprise, that his shika was tied by a rope to a peg in the wall. I knew it was not appropriate to disturb his Harinam, so I went back to sleep. In the morning, I offered obeisances at his lotus feet with great sincerity and inquired, Prabhu, why did you have your shika tied to a peg in the wall last night while you're performing bhajan? He dismissed me affectionately, saying, go and study. You won't understand all this just yet. Then he continued, you see, I'm busy all day with various services in the Mat, so I don't get any time to chant Harinam. At night, when chanting, I tie my shika to the peg in the wall so that laziness and sleep do not overcome me. Such was his astonishing conviction in performing sadhan and bhajan. This is just one short paragraph. This isn't about Śrīla Bhakti Kumuda Goswami Maharaj, but we can see what the time was like when he was a youngster in the Mat, when he was just 11 years old in the Mat. So, Guru Maharaj, this is Śrīla Bhakti Goswami Maharaj. He says, Guru Maharaj, Śrīla Bhakti Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Oh no, somebody's glorifying. Yeah, oh, this is Gurudev. Yeah, this is Gurudev's glorification. Sorry. So my Gurudev says, Guru Maharaj was like Śrīla Bhakti Goswami Maharaj's father, and Śrī Narahari Prabhu, known as the mother of the Gaudiya Mat, raised and nurtured him. Even if some of the boys wet their beds at night, Narahari Prabhu would clean it up. He would make sure they all got to bed on time, and then he would wake them up in the morning and bring them to Mangala Arati. He fed them and taught them how to read and write. He took care of everyone very lovingly. That is why there were so many people in the Mat back then. People will only be attracted to Guru if he loves them more, if he gives them more love than they receive from their families and the rest of the world. Therefore, Guru has to be loving like this, then he can attract everyone. That was published in the book, A True Servant, A True Master. All right, so I wanted to just read this short section from this book, A Life of Devotion, written by Devamai Didi. And this Śrīla Bhakti Kumuda Santa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, when he was a young boy in the Math, his name was Radharaman Prabhu. And so here's a little story. It said, when Śrīla Prabhupada, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, sent his first representatives outside India to Burma, now Myanmar, is that how you say it? Anyways, in the early 1930s, Sri Radharaman Brahmachari, who was still a young boy, was among them. Śrīla Prabhupada himself went to the Outram Ghat port in Kolkata to see them off. Outram? I don't know how you say it. Anyways, he commented, Radharaman is going to a foreign country at this tender age. While preaching in Burma, one day, young Radharaman Prabhu told Śrīla Bhakti Sudhir Jachak Maharaj, he said, Krishnadas Kaviraj has said, Jiver Sarup Hoy Krishner Nityadas, that the real identity of the living entity is that of an eternal servant of Krishna. But I do not agree with this. So Śrīla Jachak Maharaj became very upset. He said, are you crazy that you do not agree with Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami? Shri Radharaman Prabhu said, I am going to write an article about this. So he wrote an article and sent it to Śrīla Prabhupada in care of his editors. Śrī Paramānanda Purī saw the article and smilingly gave it to Śrīla Prabhupada. In that article, Śrī Radharaman Prabhu had written, yes, it is true that my real identity is that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. But I do not know Krishna at this time, so I have no realization of this. If I say it now, it will only be lip service. But I do know my Gurudev. I can see myself as his eternal servant. By his grace, perhaps one day I will come to know Krishna. Then I will realize my position as Krishna's eternal servant, not before that. Now I see myself as the eternal servant of my Guru. That is my identity. Reading this, Śrīla Prabhupada was very pleased. He said, such a young boy wrote such nice things. I will give him my blessings in a letter. Please send it to him. Imagine even at such a young age, he had that kind of nishta in his Gurudev. The Bhakti Kumuda Santa Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. So we just read about his pastimes of when he was a young boy. There's also more from Śrīla Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. If you go to vcvani.com, you'll find lots of glorifications, a very long glorification. It'll take a very long time to read. So I'm not going to read that now. We'll just end with that for today. And we have 10 minutes left. So in these last 10 minutes, I'm going to read the glories of Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura from this beautiful book by Śrīla Bhakti-Vallabha Goswami Maharaj, Śrī Caitanya and his associates. This book. So we'll just read a short thing that he wrote about Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura, whose disappearance day it is today. Oh, and Ananta Om Prabhu, you said kindly share this article. Which article? Like the one that we just, the one from my website, or the one
yes,
that?
Yes, the first one.
Okay, the first one. I'll share that. Okay, cool. I will share that with you. All right. So now, let's read about Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura, also known as Śrī Ramdas. Oh, Dandavat Pranams, Sudevi Didi and Shripad Bhaktivedanta Sajan Maharaj. Dandavat Pranams. All right. Śrī Nityananda Prabhu was Abhirāma Ṭhākura's life and soul. He was Śrīdam, one among the 12 cowherd boys in Braj. He's one of the Dwadash Gopals, Nityananda's associates, the Dwadash Gopals. Pura Śrī Dāmanāmasid Abhirāma Dhuna Mahan Dvatringshata Janar Eva Bahyam Kashtam Uvahasa. He who was previously known as Śrīdam is today Abhirāma Ṭhākura. He picked up a piece of wood that took 32 men to lift. That's from Gorgonadashtipika 126. And I think we all know who Śrīdam is the brother of, right? Śrīdam is whose brother? The brother of none other than Śrī Vrishabhanunandini Śrīmati Radhika, Śrīdam's brother. He's Śrīmati Radhika's brother, sorry. Okay. So, Abhirāma Ṭhākura lived with his wife, Malini Devi, in the village of Kanakul Krishnanagar in the Hooghly district. Kana refers to the Dwarkeshwar river. Kula means banks. Thus, the village of Krishnanagar on the banks of the Dwarkeshwar river is also known as Kanakul Krishnanagar. At the doors of his temple stands a large bakula tree, and the place is popularly called Siddhabakul Kunj. This is a place where Abhirāma Ṭhākura first sat down when he arrived in the village. The Gopinath deity was, and just near to where I'm living, actually, they just built another line, a new railway line directly going to Krishnanagar, from Godrum to Krishnanagar. So now you can just jump on a train and easily get to, for like 5 rupees, and get to Krishnanagar. It's pretty cool. So it's easy to go to Abhirāma Ṭhākura's place. I'm probably not going to go today, but anyways, if anybody is ever here during this time, they can easily have darshan at that Shiva. This is a place where Abhirāma Ṭhākura first sat down when he arrived in the village. The Gopinath deity was found when digging for a pond first began. This pond goes by the name of Śrī Abhirāma Kund. The temple also houses the deities of Vrajavallabh, Gopal, and a Shaligram Shila. Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura was a very vigorous and powerful acharya. He engaged in preaching on the orders of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and saved many atheists and people opposed to the Vaishnava religion. Now here's a quote from the Bhakti Ratnakara, chapter 4, verse 103 to 104. Oh, and here's the Gopinath Vigraha that was being mentioned. I hope. Maybe we can look afterwards on the internet. So, Bhakti Ratnakara says, Abhirāma Gosvāmī possessed tremendous spiritual power. The atheists trembled whenever they saw him. He was intoxicated as though he had been possessed by Nityananda Prabhu, and his enchanting mercies are famed throughout the world. Okay, now Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi, chapter 10, verse 116 says, Abhiram Das was fully absorbed in the mood of friendship. He lifted a stick that contained 16 knots and prepared a flute out of it. Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita, this Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita verse is making reference to the same piece of wood that, according to the Gorgonadashtipika, would have taken hundreds of people to pick it up. After Abhiram Das lifted it, he held it like a flute. Bhakti Ratnakar says, he held in his hands a piece of wood that 100 men could not move, in the way one holds a flute. That's Bhakti Ratnakar 4:123. The devotees were greatly astonished when they saw him perform such superhuman feats. According to one legend, whenever Abhirāma Ṭhākura paid his obeisances to a stone or statue, if it was not a Vishnu Śrīla or a consecrated deity, it was not like an installed deity, it would crack or be reduced to powder. Non-devotees were also unable to tolerate his pranams. Nityananda Prabhu's son, Virachandra Goswami, and Gangamata Goswami survived his obeisances, which confirms their divinity. These things are written in ashtaks, composed by Abhirāma Ṭhākura in their name. Śrīla Abhirāma Ṭhākura possessed an amazing whip, which he named the Jaya Mangal. He had a whip called the Jaya Mangal. Anyone touched by this whip would immediately experience the transcendental ecstasies of prema. One day, Srinivasacharya visited Abhirāma Ṭhākura, who touched the whip to the body of Srinivasacharya. Abhirāma's wife, Malini, stopped her husband from doing so again, saying that Srinivas was just a young lad who wouldn't be able to tolerate the effects of divine love. Nevertheless, Srinivasacharya was very dear to Abhirāma and received many blessings from him. Though not his initiated disciple, he was like a disciple to him. The Jaya Mangal whip is still held in a chest in Krishnanagar temple. I wonder if we could find a picture of the Jaya Mangal whip. Anyways, we'll look for the pictures when we finish reading in case anybody has to go. So, in the Bhakti Ratnakara, the following statement is also made. O Srinivas, how much more can I say? Abhirāma descended into this world in order to deliver it. Appearing in a Brahmin family, he became a scholar in all the scriptures and an unequaled musician, not only in song and playing musical instruments, but in dance also. He married at Nityananda Prabhu Balaram's request. His wife Malini is also indescribably powerful. That's from the 4th chapter of Bhakti Ratnakara, verses 105 to 108. Many people say that the Bali Mat in Puri was established by Abhirāma Ṭhākura. An annual festival is held in Kanakul Krishnanagar on his disappearance day. That is the Chaitra Krishna Saptami. That's today. Man, I kind of want to go, but I have too many things going on. Our Param Gurudev, Jagat Guru Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada, visited the site along with his associates when traveling on the parikrama of Śrī Gaura-mandal. At that time, the devotees in charge of the temple greeted him with great hospitality and honored him and his followers with special treatment. Jai Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura ki jai. His Jaya Mangal whip ki jai. Kanakul Krishnanagar ki jai. All right, so Shriram Saka ki jai. Let's look at a picture at the Jaya Mangal whip and then we will end. Let's see if we can find one. So let's see. Jaya Mangal whip. Let's see images. Nope, can't find anything. Wait, maybe make it one word and we'll write Abhirāma. Nope. Anyhow, if anybody finds it, you can share it with me and I'll share it in our WhatsApp group. Yeah, it's showing pictures of Jajigram. Anyhow, we'll end for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Okay, so here's a Shripat of Abhirāma Gopal Thakur, Kanakul Krishnanagar. I guess that's the Gopinath deity. And the Shaligram Śrīla that we heard about, I forgot what it was. Was it a Narayan Shaligram? I forgot what it was. And here's some more pictures. Kana Nadi, Kanakul Krishnanagar is the river. And there's the outside of the temple, the Shripat of Abhirāma Ṭhākura. says Shri Gopinath Jur Navaratna Mandir. Okay, let's see other pictures. That's Srimati Malini Devi from Kanakul Krishna. There's Malini Devi, his wife. She has 4 arms. Very interesting. Sorry. Okay. And now here is the Ramkund, Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura Shripat, Ramkund. Okay. And then here's the Siddhabakul tree that we read about. The Siddhabakul tree, Kanakul Krishnanagar. All right. Oh, and there's a video that takes us. Actually, one thing that I've mentioned this before, but something I really want to do is I've got a 360-degree camera. It shoots at all angles simultaneously, and it's very high quality, 8K video. Actually, it's 11K video. It can go up to that high. And so I want to go one time a month to different places. First, I'll go to all the different places in Navadvip, but then after that, I want to go to places like this, Abhirāma Ṭhākura's Shripat, and different places in Gaudamandal. And then I can make a really nice video so you can see from all directions. You can see what it looks like there. And then also maybe read something, speak a little something, maybe sing a little kirtan when there's an appropriate kirtan, and just make like a nice YouTube video for each place in Gaudamandal. I even bought a domain name, parikrama.app, and I was thinking we can turn it into an app. I have so many ideas for how we can make it an app. Yeah, I've bought a bunch of domain names for making websites, like web apps, and then we can make mobile apps. I have japa.app, parikrama.app, I have shloka.app, and yeah. Anyhow, I also looked online, and navadvip.com, spelt with an A at the end and without an A at the end, is available. Navadvip.com. I was thinking that would be pretty cool to have a website, navadvip.com, and then to have all the places in Navadvip. But I don't know. If anybody wants to sponsor that, but I don't know. It's all right. Let's end. Jai Shri Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh, I already sang. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmad Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmad Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmad Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Śrīla Bhakti Brigyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Mahā-bhāgavata Śrīla Gorkishora Swabaji Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Śrī Rupa no Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Śrī Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Shar Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai. Śrī Svarūpa Dāmodara Rai Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai. Prem se kaho Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrī Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Śrī Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharati Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai. Śrī Radha Kund Shama Kund Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Śrī Harinam Sankirtana ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jai Śrī Abhirāma Ṭhākura ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi ki jai. Śrīla Bhakti Kumuda Santa Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Abhirāma Titi ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Ṭhākura ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Swaparshad Ji Gaur Hari ki jai. The Dwarash Gopal ki jai. All the associates of Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Oh, and Śrī Paramānanda Purī ki jai. Śrī Svarūpa Dāmodara ki jai. Śrī Gadadhar Pandit ki jai. This chapter, the last chapter of Caitanya-bhāgavata, Antya-khaṇḍa ki jai. Pundarik Vidyanidhi ki jai. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayavacha Patitana Pavane Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. I'm just saying, Dandavats, Archana Didi. I'm just saying, Bangsiwala Prabhu's comments. He said that actually Kanakol Krishnanagar is very far from me. He said, "Are you thinking of Krishnanagar next to Mayapur?" I was thinking of Krishnanagar next to Mayapur. So I guess this Krishnanagar is different than it's much further away from the Krishnanagar that's next to Mayapur. Okay, thanks for mentioning that. I'm definitely not going to try to make my way out there now. But I know that it's far away. He says, I thought of making a Google map that people could contribute to that shows all the Gaudiya sites that people could collaborate on. Prabhu, let's get in touch after this. I have so many ideas about this. I was looking up this, how to get Google Maps and make custom maps for it and how to put that into an app. And anyways, I have so many ideas. I'm not going to mention them now, but maybe we can get in touch with each other and we can discuss. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Nari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Satya Mataji, Archan Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Ananta Om, Manjari Didi, and Sarveshwari Didi left. Ananta Om left. All right, Gopal Ghanasham left. A bunch of people left. Ajay Krishna. Champak Mataji. Okay, and then Rasapriya Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Mahi Bhatt Prabhu, Dandavat pranams Prabhu, Janardhan Prabhu, Sudevi Didi, Shripad Bhaktivedanta Sajan Maharaj, Vangsiwala Prabhu, and all the other devotees watching. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Oh, and the day after tomorrow is going to be the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. And so Achyutananda Prabhu, the disciple of the famous Achyutananda Prabhu, disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he's going to offer his glorification of Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj and also tell about his time in the 1960s when he went to Kalinagar, the Chaitanya Gaudiya Math branch in Kolkata, and had darshan of Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj. So he's going to offer his glorification. And then afterwards, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, who is a disciple of Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, he'll offer his glorification of his Gurudev. And then maybe if there's any remaining time, we can sing kirtans and we can read maybe from that book, Sweet, Sweeter, Sweetest, about his disappearance pastime, maybe. Yeah, anyways, that's the day after tomorrow. And then the day after that, in 3 days from now, will be our final Caitanya-bhāgavata reading. We will finish this chapter 10 and we can, read the glories of Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur. And all right, Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Hari Bol. Right. Yeah, Hari Bol.